And then when he was 13, his first summer job was serenading the insomniac heiress, the Princess Marguerite Wilson Pelouse, who lived in a castle that had belonged to the de Medici family and spans, still today, the River Cher, a castle that goes across a river. It's one of the most unbelievably beautiful places in the world. And this is where Debussy went to work for the summer, to play music for this woman because she was a little bit troubled. She had some concerns. She was the mistress of the French president, and her brother was running for political office, but had been caught offering free balloon rides to anybody who'd vote for him. That was his first job. But he had no interest in being pleasing or in any way kind when it came to his own music. He was determined to write in his own voice, and he was, it has to be said, quite mercenary. If you had money and you were interested in helping him, once you started helping him, you didn't matter anymore. It's an attitude embodied very much today by cell phone companies. Until it's reaching its peak when, and you'll hear this, there is a knock at the door. A new and uninvited guest is welcomed in. And as his costume, he wears the look of someone who is suffering from the very disease they are all trying to forget, the Red Death. And Prince Prospero is enraged at this. And he demands that his followers grab hold of this terrible intruder so that they can hang him from the battlements in the morning. But the guests aren't so sure about that. And they all step back. And this visitor progresses through all the chambers of this castle. And as the bell once again begins to toll, they follow him along through 10 bells, 11, and finally 12. And when that happens, the prince himself takes a dagger and rushes at the guest. But when he is still a full step away, the guest turns to face him square on, and the prince falls dead on the instant. And the revelers rush at him and grab at him, and they pull off his cloak and they tear away his mask. And they're horrified to find the garments are empty. This is not a party guest. This is the Red Death itself. And one by one, the partiers fall away, and the lights extinguish, and the clock stops ticking. And as Edgar Allan Poe wonderfully puts it, darkness and decay and the Red Death held illimitable dominion over all. Ladies and gentlemen, the Conte Fantastique on the Mask of Red Death, written by André Caplet, inspired by Edgar Allan Poe. again, this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Quit the bust above my door! Take thy beak from out my heart! And take thy form from off my door! Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted